All righty. Good morning. So we're going to sit up tall first. Take your ball and place it behind you and just kind of release your back. Put your hands behind you as you're sitting, lounging back, but keep your chest lifted. So when the hands are behind you, don't let your body droop on the ball. Use the ball to press your chest forward. Good. Now, while we're here, just take your chin to your chest and lift up. Chin to the chest. And again. One more. Good. All right. Now, take our arms. We're going to keep the ball behind us, snug in. We're going to wrap our arms around us, and we're just going to drop our back onto the ball, okay? Just to feel that spine open up a little bit. And then open up and lift. Good. All right. So flat on our backs. This way. Okay. So I have this ball under my head to keep it lifted because I don't particularly like my head totally flat. It's not that you can't do that, but for me, it's better off. So let's just take our right knee in and hold. Extend your left leg, flex that foot, keep it long. So let's move that piriformis. So whenever we do a stretch in the piriformis, you never want to grab this knee. This knee floats, you don't want to touch it, you want to keep it right where it is. So I'm going to place my left hand on my tibia, and I'm going to keep the knee tight to my chest. My right arm's down, but I'm going to stretch this across. Inhale and exhale, and do it slowly. Now, if you want to do more of a neck stretch, you can always turn your head and look in the opposite direction. Feel that stretch, stretch, stretch. Breathe through it. Release it. Good. Left leg up. Let's pull that knee tight. Right hand on the tibia. Left arm down. You want your shoulders wide. Don't let them roll forward. Same thing. Keep that knee close to you as you bring the knee over. Stretch, breathe through it. And take those breaths nice and deep into your belly space. And release it. Okay, feet are flat. So speaking of breathing, I'm going to do a little bit of breathing exercise today. Why not? It's a good thing to learn. So if you were a person who is a singer, okay, you would be taught to puff out your belly. I like to call it puffing out because that's how my children were always taught when they were taught how to sing, is that when they inhaled to the belly and the belly would lift. And then when they exhaled, you would completely drain the belly space. Now, we are so used to breathing in and filling up the lung space, which in Bob's case is what he needs to be doing constantly, and then exhaling. So today, instead of coming into the lowest lobes of our lungs, let's try to breathe not just in the lower lobes, but let's go into our belly space too, okay? So with your palms up, your feet are flat, let's just rock our pelvis forward and back. Now, keeping yourself in a neutral position, lift, so your feet are flat. You're going to lift your butt off the mat. You're going to shift it over to the left as far as you can get it and drop it. Lift it up Come center, shift it to the right, and drop it. Lift up, come center, shift it, drop it. Keep doing this. Come up to the center and lower it all the way down. Good. Okay. Move your knees in. Feel the stretch in your back. Rock it through. I love rocking it. So good. Okay. So now we're going to take a breath. And when I inhale, I naturally want to go to the lower part of my lungs, the lower lobes. But today, I'm going to try to train to puff up my belly. And then exhale. Inhale. Do it nice and slow. 2 more. And last one. And release. Okay. So left leg long, right leg up. Let's point and flex. Always working. Oh boy, it's morning. It's like the crooked. It's like we need the oil can, like the Tin Man. We've got to work on those joints. Now place your hands on the hamstring and hold, keeping a straight leg. Okay. So if you find that your arms aren't as easily, can't move around as easily, and you need to find your way, you can always use a strap around the foot and draw it up. Okay. There's always options. Don't be intimidated by it. Let's try the left leg. First the knee in, leg up. So my hamstrings, boy, they're tight today. You feel it, especially on my left side. How tight. Keeping that joint straight, knee nice and long. Let's point, flex. Ooh. Okay, release it down. All right, so we're going to bend the left leg. The right leg goes up. So my goal is to bring my leg up as high as I can, keeping my back down, pulling my abdominals in, keeping length here, okay? Try not to roll forward. You want to be completely opened and available, even with your palms up. So my legs all the way up. I'm going to flex it down, point the toe up. Keep going. One more. All right, bend that right knee. Take that left leg up. Same thing. Point and flex.
Very good on this plan.
Both feet are flat. Now I want you to rock your pelvis again. As we rock it, we're going to really push this lower back into the middle back to the mat. So hold it tight right there. So you look like your pelvis, your tailbone is lifting up, but your lower back's a little bit off the mat, and your middle back and lumbar are flat. Now, in that position, I want you to drop your knees to the right. So what you get is a great stretch going all the way down. Open up the hips, right? You can feel, and then all the connection into the back. If you want to look, and in the opposite direction, stretching out your neck, go for it. Breathe deep. And of course, the lower that your knees are to the floor, the deeper the stretch. Inhale, exhale, center. To the opposite side. My palms are down. My knees, I'm trying to bring them as tight as I can so I can get a nice stretch here. And bring to center. Okay, so now you're stretched out enough. As we start to do our leg circles, you're going to feel just groovy. All right, left leg straight, right leg up. So I'm going to start with a pointed toe, and I'm going to bring my leg across the body. Now, when I bring it across the body, I'm also bringing it down. So I'm starting to shape an oval on the ceiling. So I've got the oval going, but you got to bring it all the way across the bottom and to the outside. Now, I don't want my outside leg to be wider than my inside leg. So that's a great way to control. If I had a measuring tool, I could measure the distance from the outside of your leg to the inside. Have your palms down to the mat. Palms are flat. This helps to ground you. One more. You're going to hold it up. Now flex your foot. Let's reverse this. So I'm sweeping it. I'm following it with my gaze, making sure that I'm initiating a full circumflexion all the way up and around. One more. Take it all the way down, bend the knee in. Cool. Hold it there. All right. Release the right leg, shake it out. So the left leg's going up. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to start with a point, keeping the knee straight, cross the body, down and up. Cross, down and up. Keep going. Cross, down and up. Two more. Now take it around and to the opposite side. So your circles in the opposite direction. Watch the distance of the outside to the inside and making sure that your hip, if you have any noises going on, any cricking, any popping, you have to make sure that you don't go as wide. Keep it smaller. Knee in and hold. Okay, feet are flat. So now, with the ball behind my head, I'm going to do a nod and bow. So a basic nod and bow is chin to the chest, lifting from my shoulder space and down. So a nod and bow. And again, nod and bow. Keep going. Two more. Last one. Okay, very cool. So now we're going to take our legs in tabletop. We're going to bring those knees in very deep where your tushy comes off the mat. So if I bring them in very deep and then I extend them out together, I got to make sure that they're up higher. So I don't want to extend them low like this, okay? I'm extending them higher. How come? Because then my back is firm to the mat. Pull the knee in, extend out. I always give you the cue to where your ceiling and your wall meet. But for some of us, our ceilings are a little bit higher and that might be a little too high. Two more. My back is completely firm to the floor. Drawing it in, hold here. Okay, so let's add some arms to this for a double leg stretch. So you're going to take your arms, you're going to extend them out overhead, extending the legs, sweep them around in a circle if you want, and tuck. Or overhead and bring them back in. You have an option here. If you want to circle your arms, rotate through the shoulder, go for it. Two more. Two more. I said two more, but we're doing two more. Great. All right, hold it in. Rock side to side. All righty, now let's sit ourselves up. You have an option. You can go here to your side and sit up, or you can roll yourself. So what I want to do is I want to do some rolls, actual rolls. So the first thing I want to do is I want to use my ball to bring it into my tummy space. Then I'm going to pull my knees in, and look at the ball is tucked in here, right? Knees down. If you can do this, you feel uncomfortable doing this, take the ball out, okay? What this does is it created a better flexion to my lower back. So it's in, I can feel how it opens up. I'm holding here, lifting. Now in this position, I'm gonna bring my chin in, and I am gonna roll and extend. Roll back, come up. Roll back, and lift. Roll back, and lift. So you wanna keep your shoulders down. Two more. Last one. Okay. Cross at the ankles. Good, good, good. Keep your ball close by. So if your legs are crossed and you feel that you can do a nice little stretch here, go for it. Fingers forward, opening up through your lower back. Just good. So let's walk our hands to the right side. This left hand walking it over is a little more of a challenge. You're going to try to stay here. Breathe through it. Walk your fingers even more. Bring it back to the center. And to the opposite side. I always have a challenge on my left side. I can always feel the difference. So listen to your body. There's a reason for the differences, okay? Sometimes it could be an injury. Sometimes it could just be the way you slept last night. So there's always reasons. Okay. Sometimes there's no reasons. Okay, ball behind you. So it's snug. We're going to feel the lower lumbar only. So I'm going to hold mine, drop my lower back, then come out of it. Drop my lower back, come out of it. So I can feel how my lower lumbar is dropping down and releasing up. It's hard to disconnect that, but you can do that. And really you should, because it's good for you to separate the way that your body and your spine moves. Now, one more, stay down here. Okay, so your legs are together. This is snug under you. You're gonna bring your arms out, but plug. I'm gonna bring it back and up. I'm not coming all the way up. Back and up. 2 more. Last one. Okay, I always get a nice little on my last one. Okay, so ball's now going to go into the belly space. Pubic bone, belly button. There's not a lot of space between them. So you're going to stick that ball there, hug it like it's your new best friend, but don't shoulder roll. Keep your back straight. Now, nod, bow, spine stretch. And release it. Stay with that. Keep going. Nod, bow, spine stretch. Nod, bow, spine stretch. One more. Okey doke. All right. Legs are wide. Feels good. Okay. Keeping the ball there. It's really easy to go to this place. Okay. I don't want you to be there. I want you to be here with a straight back, even if that means you have to bend your knees slightly. I want you to stay with a straight back. So you're going to do a spine stretch forward again. Inhale, nod, bow. So when I nod, chin towards the chest, not digging in, bow from my 10th vertebra, and I round out the spine. But you don't want to use your head as the first indicator of the movement. You're using the middle body. One more. Okay. All right. So if we have a block today, if you do, if you don't, you can use your ball. What I'm looking for is I want you to put the block between the upper part of the leg. Okay. The reason for that is because I want it to be wide enough, even wider than your mat. Okay. It's probably going to be even wider than your mat, but you're going to sit tall. We're going to do our pulses and twists. Okay. So your arms are going to be down. We're going to twist to one direction, taking my right hand. I'm going to lean in towards this left foot, but I'm not dropping my chest. My left arm is behind. I'm holding it. So we're going to use the saw method. We're going to 1, 2, 3, come up, twist in the other side. So the reason for this is if you squeeze against it, okay, it's another form of resistance for the inner thigh. There you go. Hand behind, reach, 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 keep the chest lifted, and saw, 2, 3. Again, 2, 3. And saw, 2, 3. All right, release. So if you find that when you're doing the saw, you're really feeling it tight in the quads and in here, don't be intimidated. That's part of it. Rotation is a tough one to do. So taking this block out, we're going to place this now between, you can use your ball, you don't have to just use the block, between the lower part of my leg. Now, when I do this and I press my ankles against the block, I get to have a tendency to notice the way my feet rotate. Okay, it's almost like a method that I use when I'm checking on people's alignment. And for me, my right foot always tends to lean into a pronation. So I take it forward. So I'm going to work on that goal. So instead of letting my feet roll forward, I'm going to try to keep my heels to the floor, keeping my legs completely straight. Okay. Shoulders back, same thing, twist and reach, 2, 3, other side. Keep going. Going. I apologize if my husband's voice is so loud in the other room. Keep going. So this is harder for me to reach to. So I have to really work on keeping my chest lifted. And I can feel the stretch more in my hamstrings here. And release it, shake it out, shake it out. Good. Okay, so now we're going back to that ball. And what we're going to do here is keeping the ball tight behind you. Let's drop onto it, okay? Shoulders are back and down. Now, if you have your block, or you have your circle, or you have a towel, people actually can use strap or towel. So what I'm looking for is your shoulders are just the circumference of your width, okay? So not out wide. That's why I like to use the block, because it forces you to stay in a place. So I'm going to keep my toes pointed. I'm going to roll my back. I'm going to lift my arms up, but not all the way. Back in the front, forward, forward, forward. See my chest? It's staying lifted. I'm reaching. And come back and back again onto your ball. So what this is trying to mimic is, if you've ever been on a reformer, we have a bar that we hold just like this. And when we bring it forward, there's a weight resistance to it, okay? And it's keeping your arms in the alignment so that when you roll back and up, you're really using your abdominals here. Keep going. Two more. And back, 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 back. And up, 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 up. Stretch and reach and reach and reach and reach and reach. Good, good, good. Okay. So let's take ourselves onto all fours. Good. Now take the ball, place it between the thighs. So when it's between the thighs, you have to squeeze it to keep it right in place on the floor. So if your knees are down, your feet are flat. And I'm hoping you can see my feet. Yes, you can. Okay. So with the feet flat, see how tight the top part of my foot and my ankle are coming to the floor? That's a really good goal. And the reason it is because it gives you the opportunity to have your feet flexible, ankle space flexible. We know how important our feet are. Now let's tuck and lengthen and tuck. One more. So we're going to lengthen and hold. Now lift up your back. So let's start with the tailbone. Tuck the tailbone, lift the hip space and the lower back. Don't go into the shoulder, crunching up to your ear. Think of your spine lifting. You're up in that cow position, or cat, excuse me. Now I still have length in my shoulders and neck. I'm going to move back. I'm not moving back. I'm moving back. And I'm going to hold this in a child's pose. My arms are still out front. You got options here again. You can either walk your arms farther up, feel a deeper stretch. You can also move your arms from side to side, getting a nice stretch into your lower back, into your hip flexors. It's up to you. We're just going to try these, might as well try. And then the next thing I want you to do is drop your elbows. If you still have your block around and you want to use it, put your head there. Okay. So this is a modified child's pose. Why is it modified? Well, you got pieces of apparatuses in the way. So you're not doing a child's pose on your own, particularly because you have pieces that are supporting you. I prefer to have my head on a block. It just feels so much better. Plus it gives my arms and shoulders and my neck a space to move. Okay, coming up out of that. All righty. So let's take that ball again and we're going to place it. Here's the pubic bone. Here's the belly button. Right in between. And we're going to come up. We're going to use it for a plank. So we talked about how the toes tuck under, the knees lift off the mat. You're going to hold that. So you're already planking. You didn't even know it, but you're planking. So I don't want you to be here. I want you to lift to get really tall. Hold that, hold that. Now, with strength and control, because you have it, because I know you're doing these diligently every Tuesday, even when I'm not on with you live, I want you to take your hips and lift them off the ball and then come back down. So when I'm pushing up off and I'm using the force of my body, it's my abdominals, my obliques, and my back. Feel that? Keep going. 2 more. And this one. Good. Okay, so notice that I didn't do this. I didn't drop my shoulders down. Now, in this position, keep those knees off, but bring your feet closer together. You're going to lift just the left foot, release it. Now the right, release it. Left and right and left and right and left and right. Knees down. Good. You have another option here. You can take the feet flat. You can drop your chest down. You can feel how it opens up your back space. It could also make you want to go to the bathroom. I'll take a break if you need to. Okay. So you can use your ball or your block. I think I'm going to use my block today. If you have a circle, you can use the circle. So what it is we're trying to move our arms overhead in the space of this block. So I'm holding on. Those of you who have foam rollers, you could actually, put your hands on the foam rollers or to the ends of them if you want to. It's all one and the same. But I'm going to rock and really move my belly tight to the floor because we need to be doing that. Oh, I just found Bob's glasses under the table. How do you like that? Okay, hold that there. Legs are tight together. Now, you're gonna, with your feet and your legs tight together, you're gonna move your toes outside. So we're going into that Pilates V. So this is what the Pilates V looks like. Heels together, toes out. So there's a rotation in the hip flexors, okay? It's like there's no place like home. There's no place like home. Yeah, I know it's silly, isn't it? But that's what you look like. All right, so hold that there. You're gonna keep that Pilates V. Your belly's down, legs are tight. Now, hands are holding on to whatever it is you're holding here. Or if you have a shoulder impingement and you don't want to be holding anything, just have your arms outside, okay? So I'm going to keep my heels together and I'm going to try to lift and release. Pull my belly tight, feel my lower. I feel nothing in my lower back. 2 more. Last one. Good. All right, block aside, hands down. Okay, so that can be a little uncomfortable for some of us, especially if we are experiencing some sort of a shoulder impingement or neck issue. Getting the arms back in this place can be uncomfortable. So do it slowly. You're going to bring your elbows down, palms are down. So if you look at the way I'm situated, my fingers are just right outside my shoulder. My legs are tight together. I still have that Pilates V going on. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up onto the lower parts of my arm and then down. So this is a cobra, a controlled cobra lift. Up and release. So what I want you to do is imagine that there is a piece of rope at the top of your head, string. We'll go with string. It's a little less offensive. And they're lifting that head up and lengthening. So as you lift, you're also lengthening. Use the breath and bring it down. And remember, once again, you should not feel any pressure in your lower back. And if you do, that means that you're not keeping your belly button tight and your abdominals strong. Try it again. Two more. One more. It's interesting. Whenever I begin that movement, it starts very slow for me. It takes me a while to get it. Now, we're going to take our arms and we're going to shimmy them up to the point where your elbows are just right under your shoulders. So you're here and you're up and you're lengthening. So think of this from the top of your head. So your head and neck are extended, but you're not looking up. There's straight neck here, okay? Your shoulders are back and down and you feel a length. Now, if you're feeling a pinch or a tightness somewhere through where like the beginning of the thoracic, or I should say the middle starts, you probably have a muscle, something's really tight. So let's do some neck stretches. So as we're here, let's drop our chin to the chest and come up slowly. And again, drop. Down, keep going. And one more. Now with your chin in towards your chest, you can even take this a little deeper and you can roll to the inside of the right, center, roll to the inside left. Good. All righty. Your center. Palms here. So lift all the way up. Drop to the elbow. Inhale. And drop to the elbow. Feel the extension. Your abdominals lift to the elbow. Lift. We're not in a Pilates V anymore because it's going to be kind of hard to do that. And release. Okay. So we're going to take our hands to the side. We're going to move our hands behind us. Okay. So now what I'd like you to do is you have it. We're going to do some spinal extension work. So our feet are together. You're going to first bend the left leg, release it. Bend the right leg, release it. So feel how your quadricep is sliding on that mat. Feel that. So you're flexing. So that means you're extending one muscle and you're shortening the other. That's how a muscle works. eccentric and the concentric movement of that muscle group around the joint, which is what supports and protects it. It's the beauty of Pilates. Okay, so now keep your legs tight together. Let's slide and release. Inhale. Pull your tummy very tight. It's real easy to throw this in other parts of your body and not pay attention. One more. Okay, legs apart. So you're going to bend in the right side. If you're comfortable here holding, go for it. If not, you can take that strap and hold on to the strap. Okay.
Sheila, just letting you know it's 11:15.
Thank you. Now to the left side, same thing. And to the right again. And to the left. Now, if you want to try this with both legs up, go for it. So my suggestion is you make sure that your legs are wide. You make sure there's no stickiness of your quadriceps and get your hips and pubic bone down to the mat. That's the best way to explain this. So you're holding on to this. Let's flex our feet. Inhale. Lift the chest a little, exhale down. Inhale. Lift the chest just a tad, exhale. And if you can't even move out of this position, don't do it. You don't even have to move. You're still working by keeping your hands around your ankle. And release. Great. Okay. Feet are long. You're coming together. Your legs are nice and long. You're going to come up and move into a seated position. Okay. So keep your toys close by. You never know if you're going to need them. So I'm cross-legged and I'm going to hold myself here. Then I'm going to move my feet together. So I can be long or I can be short. I prefer to be somewhere in between. So it's real easy to lean into this, but I want you to come up and sit tall. Feel your sits bones rocking on that mat. Okay, so you're going to hold that. Now, if you can't hold on to your legs, hold on somewhere in the upper part of the leg, okay? So now inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to bring your body forward. You're going to reach it out, and you're going to walk your fingers. Now come back out of that. So your spine stretching, but you're also working the inner thighs, and your knees are open. So what happens if we're here? Don't worry about it. That's usually the hip flexibility. Okay, it's not a mortal sin. Don't get yourself upset if you can't do it. You can always change that by opening your legs if you want, okay? So lift up. Let's move forward. Walk it, walk it, walk it, walk it. Bring it back. And one more time. So I want the length up, and then I want the flexion over. And release it. Good. Okay. So we're going to finish this out with Pilates. Okay, we're not going to do our weights today. So we're going to take the ball again, go to the back. We're going to take the ball under the head weight, support it. Now, we're going to try to do a bridge. If you find having the ball underneath the head weight or the head is uncomfortable, or you can't do a motion of movement, then take it away. But I'm going to keep mine there. I'm going to take my feet and I'm going to keep them tight together today. Just this first portion of it. So my legs are tight. Arms are long. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rock my pelvis. So rock that pelvis. We can all rock our pelvises. I know you can. You're going to rock the pelvis up. So feel that lower back tight to the floor. Now, as I do that, I'm going to lift my tushy off. My fingers are long and my back, my lower back is lifted. So I feel my scapula still to the floor. This is a great bridge. Release. Why is it good? Well, because you're protected mostly. Tap that tailbone down, now roll it out. So if you come up too high, you're going to feel it in the neck space. And that's not necessary. Keep it going, keep it going. And this one. Okay, now I'm going to have you take your arms, same thing, take your arms up to the ceiling. All right, my knees are bent. I'm going to open my legs up a tad, about hip width apart. Okay, not real wide, but not as wide as your mat. Arms go up. Now I'm going to wrap my arms around me and I can feel my serratus anterior expand, right? You can feel the length here. Placing my hands behind my shoulders. So I'm really rounding out, opening up that middle back there. You can feel that, okay? Hold that there. Now, I'm going to roll up into a bridge and roll it down. So what's the difference? I'm sure you can feel it. I can't be there with you, watching with my eagle eyes. Oh, I think eagles have good eyes. I'm not sure. One more. But I wish I could be. And flat back. All right. So now we're going to take our legs to tabletop. We're going to take a left leg extension, pull it back in. Our right leg, pull it back in. So single bent knee stretch. Right? We're in our single bent knee stretch. Feels good. So we're going to lift our head, neck, and shoulders this time. Okay. So we're up. Now we're going to add arm. So right arm and left. So notice my leg is lower. My leg's not as high as it was when I did my double leg stretch. And release it right down. Okay. So now you're going to go right into a straight leg, which is like I don't know if we've done this for a while. So let's take our legs in. We're going to take the legs up to the ceiling. Palms are down. So I'm going to place my hand behind the hamstring and I'm going to extend my left leg and it's just going to levitate over the mat. Then I'm going into my knot and bow and I'm going to reach my legs up higher, but I don't want to bend in. I want to keep the legs straight. So in this position, keep those toes pointed. You want to create as much stress and resistance. Inhale, exhale, change. 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 Slow it down too. Move legs up. All righty. If you want to come to a seated position, you can either roll it or you can go to your right or left side and sit tall. All right. So we're going to do some stretches for the inner thighs. So you guys are sitting wherever you're comfortable on the floor. I'm going to take my right leg, bent leg behind. So what if you have a knee issue? Okay, you can do this. Okay, you don't have to bend your knee. I am going to. Then I'm going to take this other leg. I'm going to try to open this as wide as I can, feeling a stretch. So not only am I getting support and stretching around the patella, up through the quadricep, into the hips, I'm also getting inner thigh on the other side. So leg is long, knee is straight. Once again, we talked about the strap. If you feel you want to use it, you can take the strap around the foot, okay, and you can hold that. You don't need to do that if you are working from a flexibility perspective. It's really important to learn to do this without any toys. Not that these are toys. These are essential parts of movement. But sometimes when we use just our body, then when we're out there in the real world, we'll know what to do. We can't say, wow, where's my ball or my strap, right? So you're here, leg. I'm going to keep this leg behind me. Now I'm going to take my fingers and walk them forward. So I'm looking out over my long, lean, beautiful left leg, and I'm going to point my toe. So I haven't dropped my chest. I don't need to, because I don't want to lift my right tushy. Come on back. Now I'm going to release, and I'm going to stretch in this direction. Now you want to be real careful with your hip here. So you don't have to flex over. You can just lift straight up. Take it down, walk it forward. And back. Here we go. Get up. And release it. Okay. So releasing this leg, bending this knee. You're going to see from side to side. Sometimes, especially for me, like my left side is always so much tighter, and I can feel it moving all the way up and through here. So I got to think about that. I want to stay strong on that side, so I have to work it more. So here we go. I'm on my sits bones. I feel the stretching. We're going to walk it forward. Oh, yeah, I can really feel this is great. Come back. Then reach. So the arm's going up. It's not flexing over. It's going up. I'm looking for length. And take it down. Remember, if you have a knee issue, this leg can be straight. I'm going to be in great shape to take a walk again. We took a walk this morning. Take another walk later. Up. Let's do this one more time. Forward. And take it back. Lift that arm up. So we may have bypassed our weights today, but that doesn't mean you're exempt from it. You're going to have to still do them at home. It's real important to get that weight training in. So let's take our feet together. And we're going to sit up tall. So you're not even leaning into this. You're just using this as a place to sit. So my shoulders are back and down. I can really feel my sits bones to the floor. So I'm going to take my left ear to my left shoulder. So if you're like most of us, we have a tendency when we close our eyes to rotate. Okay, it's pretty interesting how the levators and the scalenes just go where that's where they can go. But you're going to keep your eyes open and you're going to make sure that you're following that direction. Come up, other side, right ear towards my right shoulder, and try not to lift your shoulders up. And again. And one more to each side. Here we go. To this side. And release it. Okie dokie, I think we did it. It's great to see everybody. Thank you for coming.